Right now, take it slow if you must go. Road crews ask people to stay home as they work to keep up with the slick conditions through early tomorrow.
Also, a frosty flashback will take you to February 22nd, 1922, when a terrible ice storm shut down southern Wisconsin.
Plus, presenting a united front, President Biden and U.S. allies slap Russia with strong sanctions, hoping to avoid war in Ukraine.
And another we'll see from the MVP, what Aaron Rodgers said and didn't say today about his future in Titletown.
You're watching News 3 now at 5. Freezing rain, sleet, snow. It has been a mess outside today.
So much so that more than 100 schools canceled classes today. So far, it looks like everyone will be back in school tomorrow, but we're still seeing plenty of ice-covered stretches on the roads tonight, and it could be another slick commute tomorrow morning. Our First Warn weather team has been tracking all the different kinds of precipitation all day today. And we start with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, what's going on right now is the more persistent areas of freezing rain, sleet, and snow are lifting to the north and east. So we're just left with some freezing drizzle and flurries over much of southern Wisconsin. But that's still enough to keep roads slick, and any untreated surfaces are going to turn icy again. Visibilities right now also in the 3 to 5 mile range, indicating that we're seeing some fog and some drizzle and freezing drizzle. And with temperatures below freezing, and that's the critical thing, they are below freezing in the low to mid 20s over southern Wisconsin. That's going to cause the road conditions to ice up, and as temperatures drop into the single digits tonight, a lot of the salt starts losing its effectiveness, so that could keep conditions slippery overnight. Winter weather advisory continues until 6 p.m. for all of southern Wisconsin, but as we take a look at an alert day in the forecast, this is for the next system that'll move in for Thursday afternoon and Thursday night with the potential for about 2 to 4 inches of snow accumulation. Otherwise, temperatures will drop off into the single digits. The skies clear out overnight, and again, that will keep roads slippery. Tomorrow will be a cold day. High temperature only around 20, even though we'll have some sunshine, and it looks like we have that snow on the way for Thursday. Now, I know we've had a lot of icing conditions out there, and we've got Julian Seawright out on the backyard weather patio.
That's
to
right,
kind of take
Gary,
us
and outside. This is what we're looking at just as of right now. Since we had such a snow event for us, this is what we're going to be seeing. On the ground, it's about 2 layers. You can think of this as a 2-layered cake. Underneath of it is just really hard ice, and on top of it is where we're looking at that slush and from that snow that has been falling for us. Now, still some light flurries here at the station outside of our weather patio, but one other thing we could take note of is that we are looking at frozen tree limbs. And on top of that, that is why some areas have started to see it's not the same everywhere else, but we are looking at just about of a good amount of ice that has frozen onto those limbs, which could cause some damages overnight, especially as we are still looking at some light flurries throughout the night. Not in terms of accumulations, but still could cause some troubles for us later on. But just one thing that you need to know, give yourself extra time as you wake up tomorrow morning, or if you're going to be going out tonight at all, because it's going to take time in order to either scrape your car out or even shovel your sidewalk or driveway. And we're going to go ahead and toss it back to you guys inside of the studio.
All right, Gary and Julian, thanks to both of you. This ice creating a different challenge for our local highway and street departments as well. They're used to snow, but getting rid of ice, well, that's a little different. Madison Streets Division says it has 32 trucks out on the salt routes, and those are roads used by Madison buses and also near hospitals. They're getting rid of as much as they can and using salt where needed, but as Gary mentioned, salt simply doesn't work well when it's this cold, so expect slippery spots into tomorrow when the sun does come out. Other crews are putting sand down to help create a little traction, and what they're doing is working in a lot of places. Earlier today, this DOT map was pretty much all red, which means roads were ice covered. We're starting to see some more green on the map, including the Beltline here in Madison. We're still seeing plenty of ice, though, and those slippery stretches throughout the entire state.
The best way to get the most up-to-date information about road conditions and the upcoming snow that Gary mentioned is to download our First Warn weather app. It has hourly forecasts and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather.
Aaron Rodgers sent shockwaves around the internet last night after he posted to Instagram and had Packer fans jumping to conclusions about his future.
Sports director Zach Hanley is here now and with more on the Rodgers watch. Zach.
Yeah, late last night, Aaron Rodgers posted to Instagram a 5-paragraph message with 10 pictures that he called Monday Night Gratitude. The last picture is what everybody got thinking he's leaving or he's retiring because he's not in it. See, there's a space there between Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb for him or me. But today on the Pat McAfee Show, Rodgers said no decision has been made and didn't really clear anything up about his future.
love the game. I was thinking I've played, I think, 25 years of competitive football. I didn't start till I was in 8th grade, but it's what I've known. You know, it's a passion. There's a lot to decide. I still want to have conversations with some of my close friends and current teammates.
So the Rodgers watch continues, and the same can be said for his top target coming up at 6. We'll have more on why these next 14 days are huge for Davante Adams, the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers.
All right, Zach, thank you. President Biden announcing new sanctions on Russia today after Russian President Vladimir Putin recognized parts of Ukraine as independent states.
That was before Putin ordered troops into those parts of Ukraine. News 3 spoke with UW-Madison professor of comparative politics and international relations, Yoshika Herrera, today on Live at 4 about her thoughts on the sanctions.
President Biden said this is the first tranche, and I don't think in itself it's that significant just yet, but it could become so.
U.S. and NATO officials worry that this is just the beginning of a full-scale invasion.
Isabel Rosales shares the international response and what could come next.
Alarm and outrage from world leaders.
This is the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine.
President Joe Biden following through on promises of more severe sanctions. 2 large Russian financial institutions sanctioned. Russia's government cut off from Western financing. The U.S. will also sanction Russian elites and send more troops to Baltic states to reinforce NATO.
If Russia goes further with this invasion, we stand prepared to go further as with sanctions.
Russian military vehicles spotted along the border with eastern Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin formally recognized 2 Russian-backed regions in Ukraine as independent states Monday, ordering his troops there in an alleged peacekeeping mission. The U.S. is refuting those claims.
He's setting up a rationale to go much further. This is a flagrant violation of international law and demands a firm response from the international community.
Swift condemnation from NATO allies.
Moscow has now moved from covert attempts to destabilize Ukraine to overt military action.
The United Kingdom freezing the assets of 5 Russian banks and 3 oligarchs. Russia's biggest gas customer, Germany, suspending progression of a key gas pipeline. Ukraine's president says he believes there will be no war with Russia, but cautioned his troops will be prepared. Diplomatic efforts continue, but prospects grow dimmer by the hour. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
Meanwhile, Russia is calling the new sanctions, the new Western sanctions, illegitimate.
Next at 5, the man accused of causing a crash that killed a 65-year-old woman in Madison last month will need a new attorney. Marcus Longino was in court this morning. He's facing 6 felonies connected to a hit-and-run on Milwaukee Street. Barbara Olson was severely injured and died days after the crash. Longino was supposed to hear evidence the state has against him today, but his attorney asked to withdraw. A judge rescheduled the hearing to next month. Longino being held on $150,000 cash bail. Also in court today, Jason Kieski is accused of breaking into a Columbia County home and killing a man he didn't know back in 2019. Kieski withdrew his request for a speedy trial this afternoon. A plea hearing now set for April with a tentative trial scheduled for May. Who should have the ultimate say over what your child learns in school? It's up for debate in the state assembly today.
The education-related bills give us a look at a key part of Republican midterm strategies nationwide as well. Naomi Coles is at the Capitol tonight to explain. Naomi?
Republicans say this is all part of a push to give control back to parents. Perhaps best seen in, for example, one bill that would allow parents to opt out of school mask mandates, or another bill that is, quote, a parental bill of rights. Now, that bill would allow parents to sue school districts if they're somehow prevented from setting their child's religion or pronouns, plus the ability to sue if they can't get information about their child's education. I spoke with an educational organization about the bills. The executive director says a lot of this stuff is already in place, and his concerns are with wording.
We see a lot of ambiguity in the language of those bills that I think have some unforeseeable consequences. I foresee causing a lot of litigation because a lot of terms are not very well defined.
Other bills would expand charter schools in Wisconsin and stop University of Wisconsin campuses and technical schools from teaching lessons that promote race or race stereotyping. Now at 6 o'clock, how this is part of a national drive in the Republican Party going into the midterm elections, plus how educational organizations say they feel like they've been left without a voice in the process.
We will see you at 6. Naomi, thank you. State Senate Republicans pushed forward more than a dozen election-related bills today. 14 of the 15 bills had to do with election rules, but Governor Evers says he plans to veto them. Republicans don't have enough votes to override the governor's veto. That makes many of the bills talking points for races that you will vote on in November. Wisconsin tribes delivered a list of grievances to lawmakers today during their annual legislative address. President of the Stockbridge-Munsee Band of Mohican Indians, Shannon Holsey, delivered the address. She spoke about climate change, discrimination, lack of infrastructure, and those same election bills. Holsey criticized the Republican-authored bills, saying they would make voting more difficult and rob people of their voices.
We should all do more to ensure that all Americans, including Native Americans, can exercise this right easily with undue hardship.
Holsey also called for continued protections for wolves and expanded internet access throughout the state.
A jury decided 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery are also guilty of a federal hate crime.
Prosecutors argued the men chased the 25-year-old through a neighborhood because he was black, and the jury agreed. Chris Wynn has the details.
Justice for Ahmaud Arbery! Justice for Ahmaud Arbery!
On the eve of the 2nd anniversary of Ahmaud Arbery's death, the 3 white men who killed him were found guilty on all counts in a federal hate crimes trial.
I, as a mom, will never heal.
Tuesday, Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan were convicted of interference of rights, a federal hate crime, and attempted kidnapping. The McMichaels were also found guilty of an additional firearms charge for using and carrying a firearm during a crime of violence.
They gave us a sense of a small victory, but we as a family would never get victory because Ahmaud is gone forever.
The jury found that the men attempted to chase Arbery and attempted to unlawfully confine him using their trucks as he jogged through their neighborhood outside Brunswick, Georgia in February 2020. Arbery's mother relieved with the verdicts after the judge rejected an earlier plea deal agreed to by prosecutors.
They didn't have a son that was lying in a cold grave. Come on, all right, come on. And they still didn't hear my cry.
All 3 men could now receive sentences of up to life in prison and heavy fines for the federal convictions. They're currently serving life sentences after being previously convicted of murdering Arbery in a separate state trial, although they have said they plan to appeal.
No one should fear that if they go out for a run, they will be targeted and killed because of the color of their skin.
I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Well, you probably saw this on social media today. It is truly a Tuesday, 2/22 of 2022.
Notable on its own, but some historians found some remarkable similarities between today and this exact same day 100 years ago. We have the photographs to prove it when we come back. And later, the number of COVID cases continues to drop, but health officials say a 4th COVID shot may be needed to continue the momentum. We'll have the details on that at 6.
And on Wall Street, the slide continues. A 483-point dive for the Dow. The Nasdaq off more than 166.5. S&P falling 44. And we'll be right back.
The Big Share, an online day of giving, is March 1st. Advance social and environmental justice by supporting the 70 nonprofit members of Community Shares of Wisconsin. Even a $5 donation can make change happen. Donate now through March 1st at thebigshare.org.
At McGann Furniture in Baraboo, we know that hardworking people want the most value for their money. When you shop at McGann, we've already sorted out and selected the brands that we feel offer you the most bang for your buck. From young couples just starting out to senior citizens, we offer a huge selection at prices that will fit your budget. Plus, most purchases include free delivery and setup. And remember, at McGann, we don't raise our prices only to lower them later for a sale. Discover the difference at McGann Furniture in downtown Baraboo.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
But Senator Ron Johnson is putting...
You know what's interesting? Liberal groups have already spent $12 million falsely attacking me and engaging in the politics of personal destruction. Their allies in the media have dutifully piled on. Why? Because they can't defend the disastrous results of their policies. During this campaign, I intend to discuss issues that impact your life. I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message because I'm concerned about inflation, open borders, and rising crime, just like you.
The Big Share in Online Dave Giving is March 1st. Your support helps the 70 nonprofit members of Community Shares of Wisconsin advance social and environmental justice and make change happen. Donate now through March 1st at thebigshare.org.
While most of the freezing precipitation is over, cold temperatures overnight may keep roads slick. What to expect at 6.
And the Assembly votes on a bill that would allow parents to have a bigger say in their child's education. How much say, and if the bill passed, tonight at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team advocates for you, asking the right questions.
Yeah. You hope to make that right.
And getting results.
They sent a water heater the next day after you made the call.
Call for Action, only on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Ice-covered trees, power outages, slick roads and sidewalks, cities canceling events. No, we're not talking about today's winter storm.
We're talking about the other great ice storm of 2/2/22. That happened 100 years ago. It hit 5 states in the upper Midwest, including Wisconsin. Brady Mallory talked with the executive director of the Sauk County Historical Society about the pair of storms a century apart. Brady?
Yeah, it's really an interesting coincidence, isn't it? And not to downplay what we're experiencing today, but Paul Walter says the storm on February 22nd, 1922 was significantly worse. In southern Wisconsin, the storm started with rain, while northern parts of the state dealt with crippling freezing rain and blizzard conditions. The great ice storm caused widespread damage and power outages from the Twin Cities in Minnesota all the way across Wisconsin to Lake Michigan. It damaged and destroyed countless trees, downed nearly 15,000 utility poles, and stopped the trains because, well, the rails were covered in ice. Walter says there was a winter wonderland that was something to look at, but the noise of it really got to people.
A lot of people talked about the sound. Once the ice built up so much, the trees started breaking, and it was, some people compared it to war, some people compared it to bombardment, thunder.
Walter says it took months to recover, and the cost was an estimated $15 to $30 million. He says that would be closer to $500 million by today's standards. Walter is doing a presentation tonight to mark 100 years since the ice storm of 1922. There we go. You can see that on March 3rd by visiting the Sauk County Historical Society's YouTube channel.
All right, Brady, very, very interesting. I love the history stories. And Gary, I can't even imagine that that just had to come out of nowhere, right? They had no idea that was coming.
Yeah, from a forecasting standpoint. But even when we had a little better forecast in 1976, the big litmus test for the ice here was the ice storm of March of 1976 that shut down power in some areas for 10 days. This was not as bad, but the problem is now we're dealing with the aftermath. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. The problem is now, even though the freezing precipitation is coming to an end, low temperatures in the single digits is going to keep roads slick overnight, because when temperatures start dropping to that level, the salt stops being as effective, and it keeps the roads slick until we can warm up a little bit. Dry but continued cold for tomorrow. Even then, high temperatures will be around 20 degrees, and then we turn our attention to the next system that'll bring accumulating snow for Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. On Doppler tracking, you see the precipitation is wound down to just some flurries and some patchy freezing drizzle. The more persistent areas of sleet and freezing rain have lifted northeastward and have changed over to snow into parts of upper Michigan, but you can see that mixed precipitation accumulation through central parts of lower Michigan where temperatures are a little closer to freezing. Winter weather advisories in effect for much of Wisconsin until 6 p.m. Winter storm warnings still in the northern part of the state. Still blizzard warnings over parts of North and South Dakota and western Minnesota for strong winds there. But now we turn our attention to the next weather system, which will be Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. Occasional snow is in the forecast, about 2 to 4 inches of accumulation. So we put an alert day in for that. And as you take a look at future track, as this system lifts out, we'll see skies turn partly cloudy overnight. Tomorrow will be quiet during the day. Then as we head into tomorrow night, the clouds start thickening up. And then on Thursday, here comes the snow breaking out Thursday afternoon and continuing into Thursday night before it moves out by early on Friday morning. Now, as far as the snowfall amounts are concerned, we're probably looking at a general 2 to 4 inch snowfall. The only exception might be right along Lake Michigan. It's possible that a lake effect snow band could kick in and drop another 3 to 4 inches of snow from, say, Sheboygan southward through Milwaukee and maybe into the northern suburbs of Chicago. But the wind angle is going to be very critical for that. Look at the difference in temperatures. Almost as 60 as far north as Cleveland, and then temperatures are below zero through much of the Dakotas. So when you start seeing big temperature contrast like that, the jet stream starts revving up. That's pushed this storm system to the north and east. The next one doesn't look as impressive, but it really hasn't picked up a lot of moisture yet. And so as that starts heading northeastward, we'll start to see the conditions deteriorate as we head into Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. Temperatures right now are mainly around 20 degrees here, a little colder to the north and west, a couple degrees warmer to the south. But the temperature change, you can see parts of Iowa have seen their temperatures drop 40 degrees over the last 24 hours. And wind chills right now above zero here, but as cold as the 30s below zero across parts of western Minnesota and northwestern parts of North Dakota. So winter weather advisory through 6 p.m. tonight. Look for an overnight low temperature of 7 as the flurries and freezing drizzle end, and then we'll see partly cloudy skies overnight. Tomorrow, look for a partly sunny day, but it'll be cold. High temperature topping out at 20 degrees. As we check out future track, you can see that snow and the freezing drizzle lifting to the north. Quiet weather during the day tomorrow with temperatures up into the upper teens to around 20 degrees, and then a little additional snowfall for tonight, but no additional ice. That's the important thing. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, temperatures warm up to the mid-30s by Saturday, drop a little bit for Sunday, but then we see a slow but steady warming trend. We keep boosting these temperatures up for next week, getting temperatures up into the 40s by the end of next week. As we check out first warn traffic, the view on the Beltline at Park Street, traffic moving pretty steadily, but notice traffic is light. I think a lot of people are heeding the warnings to stay home. The bridges could be slick in spots, as well as ramps on the main highways. Secondary roads and side streets could be pretty slippery, but traffic moving pretty steadily along the Beltline and the interstates on the east side of Madison. Travel times are pretty normal on the Beltline, as well as the highways heading out of Madison. Just slightly elevated times heading down to Janesville, out to Sauk City from Middleton, and to Sun Prairie from downtown. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Next at 5, searching for power from within, how minerals under American soil could hold the key to solving the current supply chain crisis. That story coming up.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Some numbers are thrilling. Some impressive. Some just right. After an accident, there's one critical number.
The number that helps you get your life back by factoring in your needs for today and tomorrow. That's where Habish and Rotier's numbers really add up. With over 90 years of client successes and 13 offices to help you wherever you are. No other personal injury law firm is better suited to get the amount that's right for you.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
We're USA Insulation, and our premium injection foam turns your cold and drafty house into a warm and toasty home. Call now and save $500 on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
Welcome back. President Biden is unveiling new ways his administration and the private sector are committing to the production of minerals here in the U.S.
Those minerals could power everything from electric cars to your cell phone. Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington.
President Biden met virtually with California Governor Gavin Newsom and business leaders Tuesday. He announced plans to expand the production of critical minerals here in the U.S., minerals essential to keeping the country's supply chain going.
Without these minerals, we simply cannot function. They can't function. And we expect the demand for them to increase by 400 to 600% over the next several decades.
To bolster American production of minerals such as lithium found in cell phones and batteries that power electric cars, Berkshire Hathaway Energy has announced plans to break ground this spring on a facility in the so-called Lithium Valley area of Southern California. Right now, much of the world's lithium comes from South America or Australia and gets processed in China. But one of the largest lithium deposits in the world sits beneath the Salton Sea off the West Coast.
To build a truly strong economy, we need a future that's made in America.
The Biden administration wants to reduce the U.S.'s dependence on foreign sources for critical minerals like cobalt and lithium, often refined by China. President Biden calls this a national security issue.
We've seen what happens when we become dependent on other countries for essential goods, like computer chips. Everyone's become aware of that.
But it's not just lithium and cobalt, it's also rare earth elements used to make magnets found in consumer goods and weapons. On Tuesday, the Department of Energy unveiled its plans to fund a $140 million project to recover rare earths from coal ash and other mine waste and to reduce the need for new mining. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
The Biden administration believes the new initiative could also help the president's goal of cutting greenhouse gases in half by 2030. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's me, Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray. Broadway's Tony Award-winning Best Musical is back. Don't miss Hairspray.
At Overture, February 22nd through 27th. Tickets at overture.org.
Stretch your dollar with 11% off everything at Menards. We're here to help keep your home protected from water damage. Utility pumps help clear standing water from your basement, crawl spaces, and other high-impact areas. For 150 years, Myers Utility and Sump Pumps have been the brand to trust. And right now, all Myers Utility and Sump Pumps are 11% off. Get 11% off everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Bob's won't rest until everyone gets the furniture they love, in stock and fast. But we're only two Bobs. Are we, though? It's time to assemble the Bobs.
It's the call of the Bobs. Well, that's a happy little sound.
Bob, vanilla ice latte.
Bobs.
Wow, this
This is some seashell.
Shop what's in stock, in store, or at mybobs.com.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
What do a 20-ounce Coca-Cola and a Quick Trip take-home meal have in common? Besides that they're both delicious. They earn you chances to win a brand new Chevy Tahoe in our Coca-Cola Scratch Game. They play the Scratch Game in your Quick Rewards app, and you can win a Chevy Tahoe or other great prizes. Play for free daily in your Quick Rewards app, or purchase any Quick Trip take-home meal, 20-ounce Coca-Cola, or Smart Water to receive even more chances to play and win. Play the Coca-Cola Scratch Game today, and you can eat, drink, and scratch your way behind the wheel of a new Chevy Tahoe.
The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back at the Alliant Energy Center Expo Hall in Madison, February 25th through the 27th. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with new gear. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with awesome seminars. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with hard-to-find boats. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is back with family activities. Go to wifishingexpo.com for details. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Outdoor News, Don's Marine, Fox Sports 1070 The Game, Lucas Oil, and Explore Lacrosse.
Hey everybody, it's me, Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray, Broadway's Tony Award-winning Best Musical, and we're dancing our way to your city. Don't miss Hairspray.
At Overture, February 22nd through 27th. Tickets at overture.org.
Just have some flurries or patchy freezing drizzle out there. Temperatures are in the upper teens and lower 20s, so that'll keep roads slick. Winter weather advisory continues until 6 p.m. for all of southern Wisconsin.
All right, Gary, thank you. We'll have more updates in a half hour on News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.